In an episode of Frenemies with Dr. Drew, Trisha complains that Ethan made the fact that she abused Moses public, stating that she's not a person who beats her partner, but Ethan made it seem that way.
We had that. Nobody knew. Ethan brought it up on the podcast. That makes me look like I'm a domestic abuse, like I'm a person that hits my partner.
For reference, this is the incident that she's referring to. And despite crying on the Dr. Drew episode, she's clearly downplaying the abuse here while telling the story to Ethan, claiming that she barely touched Moses and that he's frail.
He said he broke up with you because you started like punching him.
He's shaking his head no.
Oh, okay. You said I could say everything.
I did not punch him. You said that's why you broke up with me, because I punched you? I went like this.
Okay.
Here is the bruise that she left on his body after the incident, that she tried to downplay. She acts as if this was a one-time occurrence and that she's not a partner that beats her partners. However, she's mentioned in another episode of Frenemies that physically abusing another partner is something she used to do.
There was an incident like early on in and I talked about this on Frenemies, but it's a lot, it's kind of triggering to bring up, that I had physically like hit Moses in the arm out of rage in a fight. Really early on in our relationship. Actually, we weren't even dating yet. Just when we were hanging out or whatever. And I've never have been physically like abusive like that, right? And now people take that and use that against me, and I understand that, and it's not a pattern of behavior, but it doesn't make an excuse. But it's not this pattern of behavior. It happened once.
But like I've wrestled a roided boyfriend. Technically, he was an abusive boyfriend, but I beat the shit out of him too. He would just punch me and I'd punch him. So
on top of that, Jason's new girlfriend made a post on Reddit about the abuse that Jason endured at the hands of Trisha, which included her physically abusing him, which left him scarred.
How can I help balance my mental health with a partner who has severe PTSD? A little less than 2 years ago, I started hooking up with a man while he was in town for a work trip. I live in New York, and he lived in LA, which I happen to travel to around twice monthly for work. He also traveled to New York for work often, and we started to hook up on a semi-regular basis. Note, I am in my mid-20s, he is in his mid-40s. I never expected anything more than a hookup, let alone to see him again, but we became instant friends. Eventually I began to develop feelings, but found it rather unlikely as he was in the public eye for work a lot, and I had just began my career in NYC. In the beginning of my feelings, it was brought to my attention that the man had suffered BPD and had severe PTSD from his past relationship, which ended in May. We met late June. His past partner used to physically and mentally abuse him, stalk him, attempt to ruin his career, and more to the point where sometimes I would hear him cry himself to sleep. He used to flinch sleeping next to me out of fear of being hit. While in New York, a mutual friend of mine who knew them both prior to me told me a horror story about his ex-girlfriend with graphic details of how she stalked him in a series of audio messages his ex sent my friend while high. Confessing to crashing her car into his, calling his job, slandering him online, hitting him, and graphic details of the violent actions that she did to him.
There is also tons of footage throughout her vlogs that show her hitting him whenever she was upset by something he said.
and that was whack, although I really whacked me some hard this morning on the chest. No.
What? You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Put your hand over some hot tea. What? That's a joke. That's a joke. You weren't supposed to get mad at me. You're so skinny.
Stupid. What you want to hear?
Who's sorry? We were having?
You dumb. Wait, 3 huge ass chocolates. He's never hungry when I'm hungry. You eat all that. Oh, Jason hates that. I went like this yesterday, and Jason's like, don't. Ow! No, you're like, don't hit me. I literally went like that. This whole person account is just to tweet you how abusive I am to you. Like every day they just say how bad I am for you.
I'm gonna start following this person and retweeting them. You do need therapy. She's right about that. Ow! My paintball shot. On a run. And you know what?
No, you're not. Even
Well,
as
I'm going on that run. You can't stop me.
really?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. Hey, this is the jokes you make that people are gonna be like, oh, I didn't even say that, you dumbass.
Ow! Ow!
You're. You lied. You didn't.
She doesn't mean anything to me.
I
I'm dating one.
You know. He'll hate when I hit him.
I don't know what you do.
Babe, I would live with you in a studio apartment with a fucking tin boy. I hit you for real, so it's like real reaction.
Yeah. No, but hit me in the head.
Jesus. Let me try to slap you. I slapped you on gestures. Do you want me to slap you?
Yeah.
Is it better this way?
Harder. That one hurt.
You guys.
I'm good. Are you fucking kidding?
You show a little respect for Jesus.
I thought you're into fitness.
Ethan isn't the reason that people think she physically abuses her partners. They think that because she does.